told you guys. I told you. Give me a second. You thought I was joshing with you guys.
Liberty or Death podcast.
With your host, Twisted Josh.
Where our motto is facts and common sense over your feelings. No. Why do you gotta say that for?
Yo, what's up, ladies and gents? Guess who's in the house? Oh, right over here or over there? I don't freaking know, man. Whatever.
I'm on the right hand side over here.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know how to switch it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna even attempt to switch it, bro. I probably need to pass only the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't want to touch anything. I might mess it up.
Yeah. I don't need no help. There you go. It's all good, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. I cannot complain. I'm on a 4-day weekend, so
sweet,
ready to roll.
Dude, you gotta love those 4-day weekends, bro.
Absolutely. Cannot go wrong with it.
No, sir, you can't. Yeah,
might have to do a couple of shots.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So, tell the people out there about you.
Well, man, where do I even begin? I actually got into this whole politics thing. It started on TikTok about 3 years ago. And I got on TikTok for a different reason. A friend of mine, she was into, film and cosplay and that sort of stuff. And, none of the fetishes or anything like that. But I had written a couple of movies. And she goes, get on TikTok and explain this movie. And somehow I ended up on the political side of TikTok, and it took off from there. And I actually got banned at 250,000 followers. So it's been a journey to try to get all those people back, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm going to keep doing me.
What? 250,000 followers? Whoa! Damn.
Yeah. It was huge. It was huge.
Man,
got taken down for talking about the thing you're not supposed to talk about, and even over on my YouTube channel, I got taken down for talking about the thing you're not supposed to talk about, and that's everything that took place in 2020.
Oh, okay. So, so you have a YouTube channel?
I used to. Yeah, but they nixed that when I started doing math. All I did was simple math. That's all I did. And I looked into a couple of other things, and they didn't like it. And I got an email that said, "Hey, we're cutting you. You're out."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's discrimination on it in itself, man.
I would think so. That I've been discriminated a lot of times throughout my life, but I don't let it keep me down.
Damn right. Yep. Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I'm here with TW, also known as walking. I used to. It used to be trigger warning, right? Now it's walking trigger warning.
It was the walking trigger warning. And so I had to change it up a little bit just because, I couldn't use my old name on TikTok. They were like, hey, we're not going to give you that name, so find something else. So I was able to use a lot of the same wording. I just had to add a number. That's all I had to do.
So what made you pick that name? That I'm sorry, trigger warning. I'm still trying to get that.
So as most of us, we've been on every social media platform.
Yeah.
And I've been taken down on every social media platform. And somebody told me one day that I was a walking, talking trigger warning. And I went, dude, I got to use that. That's going to be my screen name. And I've just been using it ever since, and had an apparel line going on for a little bit. hats and t-shirts and hoodies and that sort of thing. And but due to capital reasons, I gave up on that. And so I'm
okay.
just doing this, just because there's a lot of wrong going on in our country, and I really want to put a stop to it.
Yeah. And this is how we do it. We by just talking about it in a sense, but it's also making your voices heard, but also, just you gotta call your senators and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this last election cycle, I actually campaigned for one of our candidates for governor here in Colorado, and I worked pretty hard for her. She, a lot of people loved her. A lot of the state fell in love with her. She was a pit bull. She was out there. She was ready to tear it up. And we've got Lauren Boebert here in Colorado, and a lot of people love Lauren Boebert. But if you would have met Danielle, the lady that was run for governor here in Colorado, everybody would have said that Lauren is soft compared to Danielle, because Danielle took the fight to him. But she ran into the same problems that a lot of other candidates across the country ran into in 2020. She ran into that problem in 2022. It was an ugly fight, but in the end, the Democrat ended up winning. But that's a different story of what's going on here in Colorado.
So I have so anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so so all right, so yeah, it's a man's world. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, they make better women. I
where would the world be without men?
Yeah, exactly.
We need men to fix our equipment. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic. The company I work for is actually responsible for the information superhighway. We're the ones that are putting in fiber optics across the country for the cell phone companies and the internet companies. These are the people that we work for, and I'm the support system for them. I make sure that their equipment, their trucks are up and running and 100% legal. So, and I've worked with women that worked in that position, but they were limited on what they could do, because heavy equipment, it's called heavy equipment because there's a lot of heavy shit involved with that, So, and like Jordan Peterson said, where would we be without women? And women gave birth to us. I thank my mom for bringing me into the world. If it wasn't for my mom, a woman, a man wouldn't exist.
Dang right. Yeah, man. And I'm gonna talk about birth real quick. I mean, dude, it's like these women when they give birth, when it comes out of the canal, let's keep it kind of like PG.
Yeah.
The vaginal area. There you go. I'm like, holy sh. And then I'm looking down at myself. I'm like, bruh.
I've got three kids, and I watched all three of them come into the world, and it blew my mind, And I told my ex-wife, she's my ex-wife now, but I told her, I was like, I've never been more proud of you than I am right now. And it's still to this day, she can still hear me telling her those words. When a woman gives birth, man, it really is a beautiful thing. And I'm not giving birth, I can tell you that. I'm not giving birth.
Hell no. Shit. Forget about that crap, dude. I'm not doing it. Dude, I mean, I don't understand, like, when in the right mind why do you want to be a woman, dude? You gotta stick stuff up your area and you're bleeding for like 7 days, dude. I mean, come on, man. I mean, sometimes more than that. Then you got to go through menopause.
Oh,
bro.
Dude, it's rough. Oh, it's rough. My girlfriend, she believes that she's starting it because she has a lot of hot flashes, and I just tell her, like, baby, it's because you're hot, and that's all. You got to make her feel good. Fellas, you got to make your women feel good about everything that's going on in their life.
Yeah,
we need women.
Exactly. Yep. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, and it's crazy. So all right, so transhuman or manufactured women. I could have. There's a lot of topics that I could have picked. The one for the Little Rascals, the He-Man woman hating club.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the Biggest Loser. That probably I could have used that.
absolutely.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would have stepped on some trademark or copyright crap, and I was like, "Yo, yeah, I'm not into that."
Yeah, it
You know,
happens.
yeah, with this Biden economy now, yeah, you can't even sue me right now. Shit. Anyway, all right, man. So, all right, we're gonna touch. We're gonna go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes here. So, all right, um, all right. So, yes, we're gonna talk about Bud Light real quick. So apparently, Bud Light's losing. Their stock is plummeting, and it's just because, I mean, as everybody knows out there, you guys out there, Dylan Mulvaney BS that's going on. Yeah, it's crazy.
He crashed it by $40 million since all of this began, and it's been maybe 5 weeks, and they've lost $40 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there was actually a report that a Walmart, and they didn't disclose the location of this Walmart, but a Walmart was actually selling a 30-pack of Bud Light for $4.99. And in that pack, that 30-pack of Bud Light was a mail-in rebate for $15. So Anheuser-Busch is paying you $10 to drink 30 of their beers. That's how bad it is, because it was actually cheaper to give somebody $10 to drink 30 of their beers than to send a truck and pick up all of the undrunk beer. I'm still not going to do it. I didn't drink Bud Light to begin with. I got to drink a beer that makes you feel full after halfway through a bottle.
Yeah. Oh.
And you just keep going, belch it out and keep going. That's the kind of beer drinker that I am.
Oh yeah, man. On the days that when I used to, I drink beer, but not as often as I used to. It would be on those days where I'm like, Corona versus Bud Light. Oh, I'm picking a Bud Light. Yeah, so you know what I mean. So it's cheap piss beer. That's what basically is.
Absolutely. It was like drinking water with a little bit of tang to it. That's the way I could sum it up as.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they came out with Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange, and those were absolutely terrible.
Yeah. The Bud Light Lime is it to me it was all right. It wasn't that bad, but
yeah.
I mean, oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Let me. It almost tasted like a Corona to me, but to a little bit, but
yeah, with a few limes in it.
Yeah, well, like I said, Corona, Bud Light, I'm picking. Just take it, because brother's broke, bro.
yeah, you got to save a dime here and there.
Exactly. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. View tab stream your no, yeah. Oh, here we go. Let me see here. Pull it up. Yeah, so nobody imagined it would go on this long, but like sales continue to plummet over Mulvaney backlash.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the Bud Light continued to plummet, reflecting ongoing backlash to the brand decision to hire transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney as a spokesperson. Oh, okay, dude. They still have they still have him on the payroll, right?
As far as I know, they have. Ever since all of this controversy dropped, Dylan Mulvaney kind of stepped out of the limelight a little bit, and he stopped with the nonsense that he was doing of 1 year as a woman, as he called it. But anybody who has seen Dylan Mulvaney's videos, they see that he's acting like a little girl. He's acting like a child. He's not acting like a woman. I've never met a woman in my life that acts like Dylan Mulvaney. And he's trying to combine sales along with trying to be a woman. It just seems very disingenuous, and it's really upsetting a lot of women across the world, not just the country, but across the world, because they feel like they're being made fun of with the things that Dylan Mulvaney are doing. And of course, he got a bunch of other endorsements, and the women have since said, "I'm not going to buy that product." Think back to when you were a kid. The Budweiser posters. You had drag cars. The dragsters that were on posters that had Budweiser. You had multiple women in one-piece bathing suits, and it said Budweiser. They were wearing Budweiser one-piece bathing suits. Back in the day when we were kids, things were very modest. So people weren't wearing two-piece bikinis,
right?
Selling Budweiser, and it eventually evolved into that. But it has gone off the cliff, and with Anheuser-Busch losing $40 million in sales and paying people to drink their product, the Dylan Mulvaney thing is coming to an end, and it's coming fast.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I don't pay a lot of attention to the guy because he freaks me out. But that's a me problem. That's not a worldly problem.
Right. And it says here, according to data cited by the beverage industry trade publication Beer Business Daily, sales volumes of Bud Light for the week ending May 13th sank 28.4%, extending a downward trend from the 27.7 decline seen the week before.
So they're gaining 1%, over 1%, every week in losses.
Yeah.
I couldn't survive on that type of a loss on a weekly basis.
No.
I don't know how they're doing it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then it says at the time of the profound and political division in the U.S., light beer drinkers simply don't want to be drawn into another debate about values, said Beer Business Daily editor and publisher Harry Schumacher. There you go. Most people don't care about this issue and don't want to get roped into a conversation, Schumacher said. Therefore, they're not going to buy the beer. What?
So are they afraid that if they're standing in the checkout line purchasing Bud Light, they're afraid that they're going to be dragged into a conversation about what took place?
Yeah, dude. If you wanna buy 5 cases of Bud Light, I'm gonna think to myself, I'm like, bruh. But I'm not gonna say, you traitor. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
I would kind of look them up and down. Go, really? Are you're one of them?
Yeah. I get it, man. You're a married man, but I mean, you come on, bro, I mean, I use that excuse, my balls are, with my wife, but I mean, that's a figurative speech.
Dude, my girlfriend, she will not drink commercial beer, if we can call it that. Commercial beer. She would rather go to a local brewery than buy a bunch of commercial beer at a liquor store. Or even at a grocery store, because here in Colorado, we actually passed a law that you can buy actual beer from a grocery store 7 days a week. She would rather go to a brewery, and she's got her favorite one. And she'll order up a hazy IPA, and she'll get down on that. She's not drinking that commercial beer. And a lot of women have develop that same mindset. They're going to get away from that commercial beer because they don't want anything to do with dudes like Dylan Mulvaney. I got another name for that guy. I don't know if this might be a family show, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But I've got a different name for Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what, dude? I did. Yeah, on change the subject real quick. I I put the crap on Rumble, right? And then so I'm on Rumble right now reviewing it, and you know what? It's not there. And I'm like, I did everything last night. I even went a bit late last night just to be able to do it online and on Rumble. And all I see is freaking YouTube.
Yeah,
And I'm like, wow, okay.
I
So
believe it. I started a Rumble channel, and it
yeah.
really didn't get the traction that I thought it would, and a lot of videos were not getting uploaded. It was just saying that uploading, and I kind of gave up on Rumble. I don't know what the situation is with that one there. I mean, maybe you have to be over a certain amount of people following you.
Well, no, it's the fact of the matter is that it's just hard to gain traction on her. And now I don't know if you noticed, but it integrated with YouTube. So basically, whatever you put on YouTube, if you sync your Rumble and your YouTube together, anything you put on YouTube goes automatically to Rumble, like your videos.
I did not know that. That is
Yeah.
good information to have.
Yeah. So, if you start your YouTube channel up again, but the thing about it is it's just hard to get traction over there and
Yeah,
on Rumble, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
absolutely.
So,
I had a lot of traction on YouTube. It was actually kind of cool to see the way it laid out, and the way it really blew up.
mhm.
YouTube, it was a cool platform,
Uh-huh.
but I learned the hard way about the certain things that you're not supposed to talk about. But
Yeah.
that was what I based Trigger Warning TV around, was exactly what I got taken down for. That was the whole basis of
Yeah.
Trigger Warning TV. But
Mm.
it is what it is, and you know
Yeah.
we
Hey.
we, we live and we go on.
Yes, sir. So, also real quick since we're on the beer thing, you heard about Miller Lite, right?
Miller Lite, they did it was a woman who was saying that they were one of the first pioneers of beer.
Yes.
I'm cool with that, because
Okay.
if
Yep.
it's a natural born woman, hey, you know what? Do you, baby? That's what I
Exactly.
want to see.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to see a guy, masquerading as a woman. I want to see a woman stand up. And I even told a lot of women that I want to see a million woman march.
Hmm.
That's what I want to see,
Right.
because women need to stand up against. They claim that they're standing against the patriarchy. Well, people like Dylan Mulvaney, that is the very definition of the patriarchy.
Right.
Because there are men pretending to be women. They're taking all the power that women have gained over
Hmm.
the last 60 years. They've
Yep.
taken it from women. That is the very definition of patriarchy. And I want to see a million woman march.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I agree with you too. I the what is it the advertisement that she had on YouTube. I was like, I did a YouTube post on it. I was like, hey, at least they're using. I got to give them credit. At least they're using real women.
Exactly.
They didn't. She didn't appear to have an Adam's apple. Stuff like that. But one thing that pissed me off, man. One thing that pissed me off. I'm like, okay, uh, 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 let me see. You were born. Okay, you're a millennial, right? You said you're a millennial.
Yeah. Yeah. In the technical term, I am a millennial by about 6 months, which
Yeah.
is kind of wild, but I don't think like a millennial.
Well, they have a couple of terms for people that were born at a certain year. If you were like 80 through, I think it was 80 through, I don't know if it was 90 or 85. Anyway, like basically you were considered Xennial. You're like in between a Gen Xer and a millennial. So
Okay.
it's actually called Xennial. So I was like, really? I'm like, well. Anyway, that's where I was going with. But back in the days, my boys and my brother and I, we're riding bikes through the neighborhood. Every time that a beer company like a Bud Light or any I'm sorry, Budweiser, yeah, um, Budweiser stocker would come in, would stock the stores. We would chase these beer things down because they gave out posters
Right. Yeah.
of women.
Exactly.
A bikini suit. I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like little, like boys do, like, oh man, like,
Hang it over the head of your bed.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what happened in those days, bro? Like,
oh man, I miss
dang
them.
it.
I miss them. I'm 11 years old, just started puberty, and my dad gets me this Budweiser poster, and there are 3 women in one-piece bathing suits, and it says Budweiser on their bathing suits. And I mean, that skyrocketed my puberty. My life of puberty. It was like, oh my God. And I miss those days. I really do. And, I couldn't find posters like that for my son. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I did look, but never could find anything like it.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy, bro. I was like, dang you, Miller, like, dang you. I'm like, what? How could you do something like that, man? But I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Ford. I'm a Ford guy. I grew up a Ford guy, and Ford has their Rangers out there now. It's the Ranger. I've never been too keen on the Ranger, a mid-sized truck, any mid-sized truck, whether it was Dodge, Ford, or Chevy, even Toyota. That's not my thing. I need a full-size truck. But Ford started their Pride Month and had this brand new Ranger painted like a rainbow.
Oh wow.
And to me, I'm looking at this going, okay, that's ridiculous. You're placating to a certain group, which is not enough people to keep you in business. So why would you waste your time doing that?
Exactly.
It's a huge waste of time for all these companies to go woke, but they're going broke. But there's actually a credit score system that the businesses are being threatened with through all of their banking systems. It's a lot like ESG. What is your social credit score? So that's why a lot of these businesses like Bud Light, it started with Bud Light. We've gone into Miller, and now we're going into Ford and Target. Target did the same thing in 2015. They haven't changed in 8 years. But Ford is now throwing out this Rainbow Ranger. Nobody cares. But it's the fact that they're throwing it in your face and they're forcing it upon you. And that shouldn't even be the case. Let people live their life. And a lot of people are actually going to start boycotting Ford for the same thing. I think Ford actually pulled that commercial from TV. They're no longer showing it.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So now we covered the beer part. I mean, you want to say something about Target, dude? When I heard this, I was like, I was like, why in the heck do they want to, do this stuff? I mean, they're blatantly putting like satanic symbols out there. I mean, they're clothes for what, kids? I guess I'm not too fond because I was doing research on this, and then I'm like, when I'm doing research, it's tunnel vision, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
So could you explain it to us?
Well, the Target thing is, I guess you could take their name and now that's part of their marketing system. Target. Let's target kids. Let's target a very small minority of the world. Okay. But if anybody, has a longer term memory than 3 years, they will remember back to 2015 when Target came out and said that we're going to have gender neutral bathrooms, which means that if you identify as a woman, you can go into a ladies' restroom. And a lot of people said, I'm not going to allow you, a man, to follow my daughter into a woman's restroom. Now, even if somebody is identifying as a woman, they were born a man. Okay, you know what? That's they're legitly doing it. But there are a lot of sexual predators out there who will follow a little girl into the bathroom saying he identifies as a female, and then he gets his rocks off on a little girl. I've got a daughter. She's 13 years old. If some dude is looking at my daughter, a guy that's my age, he's looking at my daughter, we're going to have a problem. And that's where a lot of people fail to realize what we're actually getting at. I don't want a grown man in the bathroom with my 13-year-old daughter, because now I'm going to feel I go into daddy mode. I feel like I have to protect my little girl, and bad things happen. Of course, it ends up on the news. It becomes a whole thread on Twitter and Reddit and, whatever social media platforms that are out there, and they're going to twist the narrative. Here's a father being a father against a predator, but they're putting a cover on it, and it's not okay. And so a lot of people have forgotten their boycott of Target. And Target, the people need to take down Target is what needs to happen. They need to take down Target.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I did forget about about that Target incident until I saw your post on TikTok and Instagram. I believe I was on TikTok when I saw it, but I'm like, he's right. I'm like, I totally forgot about that. But I mean, shoot, man, you're right, no doubt. A
lot of us have. It's I had to pick up a few things one night. My girlfriend and I were out to dinner, and I had to pick up a few things. Target was right there. I went into Target, so I forgot about it as well until everything that happened within the last week or two, with Target throwing out their support of Pride Month, which kicks off next month or next week. And everybody got all up in arms about it. And, I can understand that. I forgot about it. A lot of people forgot about it. I had to make that point, like, hey, you know what? We forgot about this. And it wasn't to ridicule people who were, deciding to jump up and say, we got to boycott Target. It was like, hey, we forgot about this.
Yes.
This is how short-term our memory is. And at the end of the day, we can't give up on our boycotts. We got to stay true to that boycott if we want anything to change. And that's with that beer, where you buy any type of apparel. Boycotts got to last till the end of time.
Correct. And I was also I was irritated for the simple also too that Target deal, and also a few months back this year, I read something on Bear Bar News. I guess that's how you say it. Anyway, Bear Bar News. I mean, I'm like, how do you say that name?
Breitbart.
Thank you.
Breitbart.
Yes,
I got you.
Thank you. I'm like every time I'm like calling it something else. But anyway, so that Crocs, man, I love Crocs, bro. I love Crocs. I fell in love with them about a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden they came out with an article. Hey, Crocs is now sponsoring, having trans kids model clothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gosh, dang it.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell. But you know how Crocs actually got their start? How they became famous, how they became so popular.
How?
The movie Idiocracy.
Really?
Yeah. There's a scene where everybody's in an orange jumpsuit and they're wearing orange Crocs.
What?
I'm not even kidding. You're gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up, bro, because I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah, it blew my mind because I had no idea about it, and I've never worn Crocs, but that's a me thing because I don't even wear sandals. I have to have my feet covered when I'm out and about. I'm either wearing boots or I'm wearing tennis shoes. You know, and I don't wear tennis shoes that often unless I'm going to the gym. But you know, it's boots for me all the time. And you know, even when I'm in the house, you know, I may not have any shoes or boots on right now, but I've got I got socks on, and you know, you can't walk around in sandals or socks or Crocs with socks because to me, you look ridiculous. So I stay away from Crocs. But it blew my mind when I learned that Crocs got their start, you know, their claim to fame in the movie Idiocracy. It blew me away.
Wow, I did not know that. That movie's been what? It's decades ago, bro. It's
Oh
like
yeah, it's I think 2002 or 2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I've never seen the whole movie. I've gotten halfway through it and went, this is hurting my head. I got to stop watching it.
Oh really?
So you know, one day I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch it from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too, man. That sounds like because I've been hearing that. I've actually been hearing that name of that movie going pretty regularly. People are dropping it left and right, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, I think I seen it because who started that?
It was not Owen Wilson, but he's the brother of Owen Wilson.
Oh shoot! I think I know who you're talking about. The one who actually started in Old School. I think in Old School he or
yes.
not Old School. Yes,
he was in Old School. Yeah, with Will Ferrell.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Luke
Wilson.
Thank you,
Luke Wilson. Yeah. You got it.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, I think I seen it, but like I said, it's been freaking decades, and I could hardly remember yesterday. But it's probably a good thing. But anyway.
Yeah, it's information overload.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, man. Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, no, I agree with you. We need to be consistent. If we're going to boycott something, we need to be consistent.
Till the end.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't give up after a couple of years and go, okay, they learned their lesson, because they're not going to learn their lesson. Because we've seen woke culture. Woke culture is going strong. You know, even though they are their own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But woke culture is going to go strong for a long time until we actually put a true stop to it.
Yes, sir.
And the moment we put a true stop to it, woke culture will become a thing of the past. And we'll go back to living our lives. Hey, you're gay, do your thing, man. Hey, you're trans, do your thing. I'm not mad at you. Live your life. Stay away from my kids.
But that's the way it should be, though. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you do at your house stays in your house. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly right.
And it's like, you know, hey, you know, I'm coming out. Okay, that's fine. That's good for you. You know, congrats.
Great.
But I mean, you don't. I came to a me and my daughter and I, the youngest, she was she's in a park one. We went to a park one day, a theme park, and she saw two men kissing, and she asked me, she was like maybe 5 years old at the time. She was like, "Daddy, why?" And I'm like, "Baby, they just love each other." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't. You can't find another way. You know what I'm saying? To explain that to a 5-year-old to go. You know, you know what I'm saying? You just got to say something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely,
their minds is little and very impressionable. Because this is why I believe that this is why they're starting at a young age.
Yep.
And all these psychiatrists, man, they're saying that they've been seeing a big boom and people and kids saying that they're transgender.
Mm-hmm. And that has everything to do with grooming.
Correct.
A lot of people call it grooming, and that's exactly what it is. Like, hey, you're 5 years old. You're not old enough to know what sexuality is. Right. But I'm going to tell you what your sexuality should be.
Correct.
And that is what grooming is. And they're being exposed to all of this. When I think back to when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, you know, the summertime, my friends and I, we would jump on our bicycles and we would jump on this trail. We would ride across town 8 miles. We would go to a swimming pool and we would swim all day long and then ride that trail back.
Yeah.
That's not how it is for kids that age anymore.
No.
Now it's like, hey, you're going to watch this drag show, and if you want to be a part of it, we're going to teach you how to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what the left fails to understand is we don't want our kids being a part of that.
Right.
When they become adults, they're 18 years old, they've graduated high school. If they believe that that's what they want to be, hey, more power to you. But you're an adult. Nobody taught you how to think this way. You did your own thing. So, the left is going to keep attacking us and saying that we're wrong, we're bigoted, we're transphobic. I'm not afraid of you because you're a man wanting to be a woman.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of you because you're gay. I'm not afraid of you. I don't want you talking to my kids.
Correct.
The only thing I want my kids learning right now is the basics, how to do math, how to read, how to write.
Right.
That's the only thing that I want my kids to learn.
Yeah.
I got 3 kids. My oldest is going to be 22 in July. He's serving in the U.S. Navy right now.
Thank you for your service. Thank you.
I'll pass that on to him.
Awesome.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. My 2 youngest, 13 and 14 years old. My youngest son, he's 14 years old. He's into wrestling. He's into the Cub Scouts. He's actually now an Eagle Scout. He's growing. He sees pictures of his big brother in his Navy uniform, and he thinks that is the coolest thing. Mm-hmm. And we have conversations about all that. My daughter, she is into acting. She's into the performance arts. I think it's great because she's got a lot of talent. And, a lot of parents say that about their kids, but my daughter genuinely has talent.
Yeah.
And, but I tell them, this is what the dangers that you're going to face with the things that you have a passion for.
Right.
And, they've learned to recognize it and not fall into the trap of this is what you have to do in order to be accepted.
Right.
And I tell them, and that's the biggest thing that we need to focus on is teaching our kids that you don't have to fall into that trap, that you have to do this, and this. You don't have to meet criteria in order to be liked. You just be you.
Right.
And when they're adults, whatever path they take, I'm going to support it 100%. But I don't want a 32-year-old man dressed as a woman dancing in front of my children, even my 21-year-old son. He did serve on the Reagan. He served on the aircraft carrier, the Ronald Reagan. Recently, they had a drag show. Now, my son has told me that it's messed up.
Wow.
And my son told me that he disliked the Reagan. He did not like his time on the Reagan. And then it came out that there was a drag show on the Reagan, and I'm kind of seeing why my son disliked it. People and a lot of people talk a lot of shit about the Navy, but it happens in all branches of service. Mm-hmm. But that's from being an adult. And I don't want my son to be exposed to drag shows even at 22 years old. I don't want to be exposed to drag shows at the age of 41. Not my thing. Even though I've seen it. It's kind of weird, but I let people do their thing.
Bro, I told my son, man, he's gonna be 21 this year, and I'm like, and and when he dates, I'm like, dude, you make sure she's a woman. I'm like, bro, I'm like, dude, I could not be. Thank God I'm married because I could not be single in this day and age.
I'm
sorry.
Gonna end up married real soon because at least I know my girlfriend is a girl.
Oh, really?
But it is scary out there dating in this day and age. It really is because you really don't know what you're running into out there. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Crocodile Dundee, where he walks up to this woman and just he grabs a handful of the crotch and goes, "I gotta go." Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what though? I mean, since you brought that up, so so we're gonna. So remember that statement that Donald Trump made?
Which one?
Grab him by the.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, he foresaw the future, I guess, because he's right again. I mean, oh my gosh, dude! I'm like, dude, seriously.
You got to. Sometimes you got to do it. You got to check. You got to make sure.
When in doubt, you got to figure it out.
And I've met people who are transgender, and it was like, hey, you know what? I'm cool with your lifestyle. I'm not going to participate.
Right.
But do your thing.
Right.
I'm not mad at you.
Right.
And you tell them up front. Some people who are a little bit realistic about things, they understand where you're coming from when you tell them, like, hey, I'm not participating. You do your thing. I don't hate you. And I'm actually friends with one transgender person and a couple of gay people, but they know that I don't hate them. They know I don't dislike them, but they also know I'm not going to participate in their lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean,
it just because it comes from a place of respect. You have to approach it from a place of respect.
Thank you. And same here. I don't know any transgenders right now, but I know several gay people and even the gay some of the people that I've talked to that are gay and that are friends with, they say, what the heck is going on, man? It's like they're against the pronouns too. You know what I'm saying?
Community.
Yeah, exactly.
Community. There a couple of the people that I know who are gay, they look at the alphabet community as the gay Nazis, if you will.
Right.
They're going to force their ideology upon you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And these people absolutely hate them, and I can understand that. And I think that it's pretty noble that people who are of the LG community are standing up to the TB, the rest of the alphabet.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I know, man. It's a tongue twister.
It is that.
Okay, so all right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit the with this stuff. So all right, so what is your opinion about transgender, well, male and female sports? I'm just gonna go ahead and call it for what it is.
A man competing in a woman's sport.
Yep.
You're not. There's nothing noble about that. You're not. Even though they're giving you records, you're not setting records. I'm not going to count that.
Right.
I played semi-pro football, and there is a women's league, and a lot of people have seen the women's lingerie football league. These women go out and they ball out. They hit each other. It's actually a lot of fun to watch because they're playing football. Even though they're in lingerie, which as a man I enjoy seeing, but as a football fan, it's a lot of fun to watch because they're going out and they're balling. And I played outside linebacker, and it always feels good to watch the game being played as it was designed. And when I see these women playing the game, I absolutely love it. We've got women's semi-pro leagues here, in the Rocky Mountain region. And I've gone to a few of them, and I've assisted in coaching a few of them. And these women love to play the sport of football. The last thing that I'm going to do, because my love for the game, I hunger to be on that field. I am not going to step on the field with a bunch of women and say, I identify as a woman, put me in as linebacker, and I'm going to own every record in the league. I'm not okay with that. Riley Gaines, she got robbed. We all know she got robbed.
Yes.
And you got to give it up to Riley Gaines, because if she could keep up with a male swimmer and actually be competitive against a male swimmer, that woman is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the swimming pool. I'm a pretty good swimmer, but I'm not going up against Riley Gaines because she's going to smoke me.
Well, I mean, Rolly, freaking Riley Gaines will smoke my ass anyway. I'm the, I'll jump in the water, but I'll go straight down, brother.
I'm gonna let her do her thing, and I give a lot of respect to Riley because she has actually stepped up, and has gone against an army, whether it be the politicians, the media, and the people in the NCAA who are pushing for men competing in women's sports.
Yes.
And she's still fighting them to this day. So
yes.
my hat's off to Riley. I've got nothing respect for that woman. And I'm going to stand with her 100% every day, that she fights against men competing in women's sports, because, if a man is competing in a woman's sport,
Yep.
where do we have the diversity?
No.
We have a world pushing diversity, and we're not seeing it. We're no longer seeing it. Diversity is out the window.
Yes, and here comes inclusivity. That's what it is, and that's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Inclusivity, diversity. Yep. It's gone out the window. We threw it out.
Yep.
For feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I want to watch women compete. Like, think back to when you were in high school.
Yep.
You stayed after there was a volleyball game going on.
Mm-hmm.
You went and watched it. You didn't want to see a man on a volleyball court with a bunch of women.
Nope.
It didn't make sense, and it was unfair to that other team, because that man has a lot more power. He has a lot more strength. He has a lot more speed.
Yep.
Me, I was a football player. I played baseball. I wrestled. Don't ask me to get on a volleyball court, because I looked like a duck out of water. It wasn't normal. But I don't want to see men competing with women. I want to see women competing against women. And if you watch it, it can actually be very entertaining to watch women competing against each other, because they have practiced their craft and they have gotten very good at the sport that they have been practicing.
Yeah.
And it can be very entertaining if you keep the politics and the social justice out of it.
Yep. No, I agree 100% with that, because I think my opinion, and this is my theory, that what's her name, the NBA player, the one that just got out of Russia,
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, Brittany Griner. That's Brian Griner. I have my theories on that, because there's a video floating around with her with his shirt off, and there's no woman.
There's not even a little bit of chi-chis.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call them chi-chis. There's not even a little bit. That's all, dude.
Yeah, that is all, dude. And, granted, Serena Williams, bro. I have my, I don't know. I don't know. I have my theories on that.
A lot of people had their suspicions about Serena Williams.
Yeah.
But there's been other times where I've seen Serena Williams in an elegant platform.
Okay.
Where she is ladylike. I've never seen any signs of Serena Williams other than her muscle structure of her being a man. Now I could be wrong. Because medicine it's come a long way. But you look at Brittany Griner, there's a lot of suspicion. Everything about Brittany Griner says that's a dude.
That's a lot of men, yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this started and unpack this crap, because I agree with you. It's not only fair; they just take the fairness out, and then it's also unsafe for the. I believe it's unsafe for the woman.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You got men UFC fighters that are fighting women. Crushing their skulls, not even okay with that. And then you got this UFC fighter, he retired, Jake Shields. He wants to take on all transitioning women who are becoming men. And one has actually stepped up. Haven't heard anything on it, but I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. But it also frightens me to see Jake Shields, UFC fighter, champion, take on a woman. He could kill this. He could kill a woman. So I'm not behind that 100%.
So I found the video on Fallen Fox. This is 5 years ago. Okay, guys, just gonna go over it real quick. Just pay attention to watch. Just check this out. So many guys out there.
What do I think about my opponent, Erica Newsom? She's a pretty strong fighter. I don't think she has a technique to beat me. So I'm just going to take it to her over and over again until I win this fight.
Let's welcome her opponent to the cage, Erica Newsom.
I feel really well. I've been training really hard for this opportunity for a long time.
And look at this girl. I mean,
Physical specimen, man. Wow.
great shape. She's solid, she's tough, and she's ready to go. She doesn't want Fallon taking home that $20,000.
Good throws and reversals by both fighters.
These girls are getting right into it. Fox delivering the knees, and that's it. Fallon Fox. Holy cow. Game over. Our first women's 20,000 pound. Fallon, Queen of Swords.
How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah.
I thought I had a deep voice. Oh man, I think I lost your audio.
Oh yeah. Sorry. There you go. It's freaking A, man. Like Xerxes from 300, like I was saying. You know, on pre-show.
100%. And you kind of feel bad for Erica because she trained hard. You know, she worked out. She put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy who could not compete against other men in the octagon, went and cheated this woman out of victory.
Yep.
I've done MMA. I lasted about 6 months in it, took a shot to the temple, and realized that I would rather get pancaked by a 350-pound offensive lineman than get punched in the face.
Wow.
You know, so, MMA hurts. It hurts a lot. And for a woman to take a shot like that and still be able to stand, my hat's off to her. My hat's off to her. But it was very unfair to that woman to be beat by a man just because that man could not compete against other men.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's why, that's like I was telling you before. It's like that's why I wish I could call the show The Biggest Losers, because that's what they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but for this happened. That was 2 years. Well, I don't know if the fight was 2 years ago, but it says it's 2 years ago on the video of Fallon Fox. And this one, Ashley Evans Smith defeats her. We'll just play it really quick.
To have that belt strapped around.
We'll just go ahead and as far as you guys out there, did you listen to her voice now?
It's deeper than mine.
What? Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We're oh, and pay attention to the ref too. What he says. I'm gonna speed past it. Bro, Ashley, man, I give my head out, man. She is taking a beating, bro.
She was taking it. She was standing. She didn't give it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, much respect to her. Much respect.
Wow.
And as a referee, I would have stopped it when she's covering up. She's not really fighting back. I would have stopped it right then. That's just me personally. I would have stopped it right then because, as a ref, your job is to protect the fighters. And so if you're covering up and you're not fighting back, end the fight. End the fight right now. I don't care that they're standing. You don't have to go to the ground to make a decision.
Right. So okay. So all right. So she's taking a beating. Blah blah blah. So we're gonna fast forward and check this out. Bro, she is welling on him.
Yeah.
Welling. And look at that. Look at the coach. It's like, damn. Okay,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah, it is. And listen real quick what the coach says. Watch, listen to him real quick.
Man, I'm filing a complaint, bro. That was horrible, bro. You let her get beat up over in the corner for an extra 20 seconds? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, but he didn't say shit when the previous 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
And you know what? I'm going to call that karma.
Yeah.
Fallon Fox had that coming to
Exactly.
him. He had that ass whooping coming to him.
Yep.
And I think it's great. And I think, I haven't really followed Fallon Fox. And, that looks like some, lower level MMA match. It's definitely not a UFC fight. I could be wrong.
Right.
But, I don't know, maybe a Bellator fight or, a lights out type of fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Fallon Fox got the ass whooping he had coming to him.
Yeah, when that happened, well, as a matter of fact, let's go back to when Fallon Fox bust the skull of that one woman. I think it was in an interview with Riley Gaines and Jordan Peterson, where Riley said that after she beat that woman, she was on Twitter. Fallon Fox was on Twitter. Is like, yeah, these women. I'm coming for all these women, dude. You're a male, bro.
Yeah, and it's probably what got Jake Shields, former MMA champion, to step up and go, okay, enough of this. Yeah. And I think Jake Shields, his goal was to actually get Fallon Fox to step up, but that never happened. And
yeah. So okay. So now we listen to what the coach says. Now listen to what's her face. I'm gonna call her freaking Xerxes from 300. All right. Look at he's all like being a crybaby about it. Ashley Smith, man, she is a beast, bro.
She's an animal.
Exactly.
I think that she should be labeled the undisputed champion of the MMA world.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the UFC, she's the undisputed champion because she beat a dude.
Yeah. And Fallon Fox. Listen to her voice real quick, guys.
You win some, you lose some. It's just like anybody else. At least I went in there and I competed. How many people can say that? How many of
you went from Xerxes to freaking Michael Jackson and oh my god.
You will find that I am kind, but Billie Jean is not my kid.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Dude.
Oh shit.
That's so crazy. Yeah. Oh, so guys, just to let you guys know, we're on Rumble now. So yeah, we've been on Rumble for like half an hour because I figured it out. I had to manually go in there and press start live, and I'm like, bro, whatever. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, it should be though.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Title IX. Okay, going over the stuff because up next, we're gonna have Riley Gaines real quick, and she everybody else was saying something about Title IX, and it piqued my interest because I didn't know what Title IX was about, and until I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So it's like I was telling Trigger and a while ago. before that we started the show that this is. Oh, let me go. All right, give me a second, guys. Hold on. All right.
Be right back.
All right, cool. So, guys out there, this is the Title IX that we were over here discussing. Once I can get pulled over, pull it out. You know. Uh-oh, what happened? Am I still on? What the? There you go. Uh-oh, that was scary. Okay, here you go. Here's your Title IX here. On it's on the United States Department of Justice website, and it's Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, which prohibits against discrimination. Prohibits against discrimination. And it says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subject to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance, except that of classes of educational institutes subject to prohibition and in regard to admission to educational institution. This section shall apply only to institutions of vocational education, professional education, and graduate higher education, and to public institutes of undergraduate higher education. So it's basically in schools of college, from elementary to universities. So and this was revised in August, updated. I'm sorry. This was updated August 6, 2015. Now go ahead. Now remember that, guys. Remember that. I'm gonna unmute you real quick. Yeah. So okay, yeah. I just yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's basically about it. And then I found something on the Department of Education. It's what we discussed. Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. About the Title IX we're talking about, and I went over the old 7-year of Title IX of 1972.
Okay.
Yeah, I went over that with our guests that are watching. So now Title IX and here on the Department of Education, it says here revised August 2021. That means they revised it, and it's like it says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, the subject to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So underneath the scope of Title IX, I found it. I remember I was bugging the heck out of me. So it says here, right here, a recipient institution that receives department funds must operate its education program or activities in a non-discriminatory manner, free of discrimination based on sex, including sex orientation and gender identity. Bam.
It's the Biden administration's interpretation of the title, but think about that for a second. The interpretation. It's right. What Biden and his administration are interpreting Title IX to be. but it's not actually what it says.
Yeah.
So they're weaponizing Title IX. And I actually, during our break, I actually found an article per North State Journal Online, or nsjonline.com.
Okay.
And it said that the Biden administration is ruling that they could withhold federal education funding unless each state adopts the LGBT policies. This is actually, yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not even kidding. This was in Raleigh, North Carolina. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service announced on May 5th that it will allow the interpretation of discrimination rules in Title IX previously laid out by the Biden administration. The USDA is committed to administering all its programs with equity and fairness and serving those in need with the highest dignity. And this, you can find this on nsjonline.com. A key step in advancing these principles is rooting out discrimination in any form, including discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. They're going to withhold federal funding based off of how somebody identifies. I identify as this gender, and they're going to, if the state does not adopt that program, the Biden administration is going to withhold funding. And he actually signed this executive order in June 15th of 2022 in the East Wing. Wow. And they actually have a picture of him signing that executive order, surrounded by, what looks to be the LGBT community. But nobody you don't see anybody dressed ridiculously in this photo op. What else did it say? Okay. In June of 2021, President Joe Biden's Department of Education made good on his earlier executive order by reviving the Obama administration's Title IX sexual and gender identity policies by issuing a notice of interpretation. A notice of interpretation. This is how they're interpreting it. It's not how it was written.
Wow.
But because he is the president of the United States, he's going to interpret it in any way that he sees fit to push their narrative. The USDA statement also said that any entity receiving food nutrition services funds must negotiate or must investigate allegations of discrimination based on gender identity and sexual orientation. They're weaponizing Title IX and taking down educational institutions based on sexual orientation and identification.
Over feelings, how somebody feels.
Over how somebody feels.
Wow.
Fucking ridiculous.
It is, bro. It is. Holy snikes, man. Wow. Dude, and I had a hunch about it, but I wasn't sure. But then when we talked about it, he was like, "Oh, we got to find out." Yeah. And boom, you found it.
And it took me 30 seconds to find it. 30 seconds to find it. And it's a year old, but it's still an issue that's going on.
Yes.
And that's something that's going on behind the scenes. The media is not talking about it. The politicians aren't talking about it. Of course, they're not going to talk about it.
No.
And so that's why the Restrict Act, they wanted to bring the Restrict Act on, because it would get rid of people like you and I who are doing the research.
Right.
That word that the left absolutely hates. Yep. Doing our research, and we're looking and we're finding the things that are actually going on that our TV isn't telling us, but we're going to tell you.
Yep. Exactly. And speaking of, wow, I was like, here I'm thinking, Trump said that if he gets back in office, that he's going to withhold funding. And then now it makes sense, and then what you found is like, dude, Wow. Okay. So, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, going back to the game of chess and not checkers.
Yes.
Here's my pawn move. Okay, well, here's my pawn move, and we're going to play chess back and forth.
Right.
But the biggest thing is getting the information out to the people so that the people can actually make an informed decision.
Yes.
And
Yep.
if they can make an informed decision, it's no longer on feelings, and we can put a stop to this sort of crap.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, that's what it is. And you know, I was gonna play a video for I'm thinking about playing a video with Riley Gaines in it, which but I'm going to 2010 the NCAA policy because they're reverting. Speaking of the NCAA, because okay, let me backtrack. So the federal funding, as we discussed, like I was reading the Title IX to you guys out there, that it funds from elementary to college. So they're basically saying what Donnie just said. Okay, if you don't, I would say it's not exploit. It's strong, like basically strong arm. Okay, well you guys are not going to get your funding if you don't support this. Do you think they're doing that then?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's whether this is always going to be a game that politicians are going to play. It doesn't matter who's in power. It's going to be, I'm going to withhold funding if you don't do this.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what side it's going to be. If people are paying tuition into these schools, federal funding needs to be out the window.
Correct.
Homeowners, paying the taxes on this house that I'm living in, that goes towards the schools. I don't know how that, I know that's how it is here where I live. I don't know how that is across. It might be this situation across the country, but if I'm paying taxes and it's going to a school, if I tell that school board this is not going to happen, that needs to be the end of it, because my taxes are paying for that school.
Right.
Now, there are multiple schools in the district of where I live. There's also multiple houses and people paying homeowners taxes that are going towards those schools. So when you see people at school board meetings, like you see on any news channel, pick a news channel, you see parents saying, we don't want this going on. There was a pastor in Florida who actually got silenced. A school board member felt he was a little offended about what this pastor was reading to them. It was out of a book that was issued to their library. And if this school board member is offended listening to it, shouldn't our children be offended listening to it as well?
Yep.
So federal funding needs to come to an end.
Yeah.
Because they're holding that hostage against all these schools.
Yeah.
And whether it's for, the side that we choose or the side that somebody else chooses, either way, it's weaponized and it needs to be outlawed.
Yep. And yeah, exactly. And here you go with we're going to go to the NCAA policy, because Riley Gaines said that she said that in the interview with Jordan Peterson, that she didn't know. Okay, her team didn't even know anything about this. Like they didn't even know who like who Leah Thomas was.
Yeah.
Because they never heard of her. They never heard of her.
Right.
So she was saying, well, was also she threw Title IX and NCAA, which when I was listening, I was like, it was grinding my gears. So here's a policy that the NCAA on transgender student athletes participation here. It says the following policies clarify participation of trans student athletes undergoing hormonal treatment for gender transition. A trans male FTM student athlete who has received a medical exception for treatment with testosterone for diagnosed gender dysphoria for purpose of NCAA competition may compete on a men's team, but is no longer eligible to compete on a women's team without changing that team status to a mixed team. And it says here, a trans female MTF student being treated with testosterone suppression medication for gender dysphoria for the purpose of NCAA competition may continue to compete on a men's team, but may not compete on a women's team without changing it to a mixed team status until completing 1 calendar year of testosterone suppression treatment.
So if you back up to the first part of that,
yeah,
it's basically saying that a team has to announce itself as a co-ed team.
Yep.
In order for there to be any competition.
Yep.
So Title IX be damned if they were to use that. If Riley Gaines and her team, that what was it, Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay, the University of Kentucky were to go to the NCAA and say, these were your rules.
Mm-hmm.
This team did not compete as a co-ed team.
Yep.
They did not announce themselves as a co-ed team. Leah Thomas, or I believe his name is William Thomas.
Yeah.
He needs to forfeit his trophy.
Yeah.
And he can and of course they've since graduated college.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to forfeit that championship that William Thomas essentially stole from Riley Gaines.
Yeah.
And the rest of the women competitors.
Right.
Based off of the fact that they did not announce themselves as a co-ed competitive team.
Correct. Yep.
That right there.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, because as I was watching the interview, as I mean, guys, go check it out, because without playing, I'm just summarizing it, because but anyway, yeah, that's what she said. She didn't know who she was. She found out, I believe, in October of 2021, and then in 22 they were racing. Like, she didn't even know nothing. I mean, maybe taken out of whatever, but yeah,
maybe
exactly.
had 6 months to prepare.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. 6 months.
Yeah, and really had nothing really clicked until she saw William Thomas, standing there.
Yes.
On the board, on the platform, ready to compete against her. We're going, that's not a woman.
Yeah. And
so that's really not a lot of preparation.
No. And she said, she also stated that normally, she was saying to Jordan Peterson, that normally the girls would compete against the boys during practice, but even the mediocre boy could beat their top swimmer.
Sure.
So when she even called freaking William Thomas out, because William Thomas swam for the Penn State, you know, and she said Penn State is not normally, which caught her attention because she was shocked, because she's like, Penn State does not produce any fast swimmers. So that piqued her interest. That's what she stated. So she's like, what really?
She was a competitor who paid attention.
Yes.
To what was going on within her sport.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
And also she made a good statement. She was like, many the people that we compete against, we basically know on a personal level, because they have been competed all the way through from high school to the Olympics, so they know each other.
Yeah.
So when she heard about this Leah Thomas dude, she was like, really?
No idea who that is.
Exactly.
No idea who that is.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but it's like you said though. But it's exactly what you said. She can take this and plaster this and say, yo, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
You know?
You broke your own, the NCAA broke its own rules.
Yes.
for social justice.
Exactly.
But there's really not a lot of social justice there.
Right.
And yeah, what social justice are you fighting for? Women's rights or trans rights? Women's rights who have been around for 60 plus years, or trans rights that have been around for maybe 10 years?
Yeah.
And we all know that there have been cross-dressers and transitioning. I'm going to use the right word because I use transformation. I said, there was a transformation going on, and a couple of people yelled at me and said, this is not a cartoon. They're not Transformers. They're transitioning. So there was a transition going on.
Well, they are Decepticons. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, come on.
Hey, yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, yeah, you were right. You were right.
Oh man, I lost where I was going now. But are you going to fight for trans rights, or are you going to fight for women's rights?
Yeah.
What's it going to be? Because women's rights have been going on for 6 years. Trans rights have really been in the limelight for maybe 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't really been going on. There's been people who have been transitioning, but it hasn't really been in our face.
Yeah,
because it was none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
It's still none of our business.
No, exactly.
But the world wants to put it in our face and make it our business.
Right.
Do what you do. I'm not mad at you. Like I've said before, I'm not mad at you. Live your life. Be an adult. If that's what you want to do it. Keep my kids out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids seeing it. I don't want my kids being a part of it. That's all I ask. And that's what a lot of people ask.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't care until until you put it in front of us. And a lot of people say that you're shoving it down our throats. I hate that. Don't say that you're shoving anything down my throat.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially talking about this subject. You're not shoving anything down my throat. You're putting it in my face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's. I mean, if you go to the on the NCAA website, guys, I'm talking to you people out there. If you go to their website, and this comes up, and it was updated for I believe. Hold on, I have it here, but it's going to take me. They updated it for this year in April. They updated the article. So you cannot dismiss this whatsoever because they updated the article.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's crazy, bro. It's nuts. It is. Yeah.
That's one way to put it. It's
yeah. So anyway, now we talked about that. Now we like the testosterone level, the age so from I'm looking on my phone because I had it on my computer, but then it went somewhere. So it says approximately the age of a child is generally defined as being between birth and puberty, ranges approximately 1.8 to 400 ng/dl.
Mm-hmm.
So the adolescent is a person aged 13 to 18 years old. Range of normal testosterone levels is between 240 to 950. An adult is a person aged 19 years or older. Normal, they're talking about male here. Range of testosterone level falls between 270 to 1070. So it fluctuates a lot in adult males. I mean,
absolutely.
We basically receive our the jolt of our testosterone in the teenage years.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why you see a lot of the situations, and a lot of men who are watching right now can attest to this. You as a teenage boy, we're we are terrible human beings as teenage boys because our testosterone levels are high. We're going through puberty.
Yeah.
It's that's just the thing. Um, I went to high school with a couple of kids that were a little soft. You knew that there was that what if like
Mm-hmm.
you might be, and eventually it turns out that hey, yeah, you were right. They were.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lower testosterone level, and studies have actually shown that a straight male who is around a woman that he is attracted to, they have conversations daily, his testosterone level will actually spike. And I know that to be true because I've seen that. When I was married, I knew that my testosterone level was through the roof. And it wasn't even just on a sexual basis.
Right.
I just, my ex-wife made me feel like a man. And it's not that, she was propping me up and doing all these things that would make me feel manly. It's just being with her every day, speaking with her, being a husband to my ex-wife. She spiked my testosterone level. And a lot of people have made jokes like, hey, that girl's, she's spiking my testosterone level. It's true. It's not a joke. A woman will spike a man's testosterone level if he's straight. If a man already has a low testosterone level, chances are he's going to be on the gay side. And, that's not an attack on gay people. It's just a fact. It's a natural fact. And and that kind of leads me into what I've always said. When people say like a straight male doesn't want to be around a gay male, well, it's not the fact that because they're gay we don't want to be around them. It's because we as men know what they're thinking. As a man, we're dirty creatures.
Right. Exactly.
We have a most of the time one thought on our minds.
Right.
So if you're attracted to the same sex, chances are that thought on your is on their mind.
Right.
Can't fault them for it, but it can make you feel uncomfortable. So you tend to stay away from it. But testosterone levels do play a major role. Women will spike our testosterone levels, and I don't know the science between gay man and gay man. I don't know if there's a testosterone level there.
I'll stay away from that topic. But anyway, see, and I pull up here. It's like the typical total testosterone level in children and adolescents. See, it has a chart here. Male 1.80 to 5.6. And look at the female. They're 7 to 10 years old. It does spike.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, 13 to 17-year-old males, bam, it spikes all the way up. And look at the female.
Oh yeah.
Like 208.08 to almost 500. And women and when women reach, the females reach the 13 to 17, 16.72 to 31.55.
That's huge.
Oh yeah, shays.
And if you think back to when you were in high school, there was a lot of women that they felt they needed to compete with you.
Yes. Yep.
And you often found yourself questioning, like, why are you doing that? You don't have to do that. You don't have to compete with me. And there were some women that were far more athletically talented than other guys in my high school. Right. It was kind of weird, but I never really dove deep into it. But seeing that study, you're seeing that some women developed a testosterone level naturally. And of course, over the years, and I don't know how long testosterone boosters have been around.
Yeah.
But naturally, there are foods that will spike a testosterone level
Mm.
in any human. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. It's going to spike your testosterone level. And there's some people who will tell you stay away from certain foods as a man because it's going to drop your testosterone level. You don't want that. And some women are eating foods that are increasing testosterone levels. We're human. That is our genetic makeup. XX, XY, testosterone does exist in some women. And some women can actually spike their testosterone naturally. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but, that's nature.
Well, another thing too is that when women, and I found out when women are on their rag, they lose testosterone, I believe, and so it's like, okay, so you want to compete against a woman on what day? You know what I'm saying? On their on their days they're not ragging, or you know what I'm saying? So it gets complicated. But I keep on I saw this in the NCAA the IOC page, and it stated that if men want to transgender what is it? If a man who's transitioning to a female wants to compete against a female, a biological female, they have to keep their testosterone level at a 10. It's called NMO, or I don't know what that stands for. It's a leader, some leaders, but anyway, they use that number. But it was like I was saying that they're supposed to keep it like that for a year to be able to compete, against a biological female, and even on their even a tenth off there, it's still too high.
Sure,
it's crazy.
Absolutely,
it is crazy, man. So. Yeah, man, it's just nuts, guys. Just man, and then you hear them entering the women's restroom and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that I have a problem with, man. 100%.
Big time. Because I don't want a man following my girlfriend,
right,
and her daughter or my daughter into the bathroom. Don't want that, because that just opens the door for predators.
It does.
If a man is identifying as a woman, great. But you still need to enter the men's room, because just identifying as a certain gender and then going into the women's room, it's like opening the bank vault and saying, hey, you stole this candy bar, but we're going to let you go into this bank vault.
Right.
It's opening the door for all the wrong stuff to happen. And that's what we're trying to prevent. And that's what people don't understand.
Yep. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. But they get into their feelings, and that's why they don't understand it. They don't want to critically think about it.
Yeah.
So everything goes off the rails. It's out the window.
Yeah, and you'll see here. Give me a second, now I'll pull it up for you. The IOC and what it says here, just to make it real quick, and then we'll top it off here. It says fairness, inclusion, and non-discrimination in Olympic sports. That says it all right there. That's a framework on fairness, inclusion, and non-discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sex variations. So it's to be honest with you, it's not even fair. It's not. This whole thing is so you're being fair to a what 1%? They say at a what 0.1 percent.
Yeah, it's 0.10%. It's a tenth of a percent. There's not that many transgender people, but the way the media and politicians portray it, it sounds like it's 90% of the population.
Yeah.
In reality, it's not that much. So you're tearing down people who have worked hard
Yes.
and women who have fought for equal rights as men
Yep.
over the last 60 plus years. You're tearing all that down for a very small minority of people.
Yep.
And that's the worst thing that you can do, because you're alienating an entire gender of people.
Facts.
And
Facts.
and you know, it just comes right back around to the patriarchy. And I've always went, the patriarchy is nonsense. I'm not trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
There are women out there. I make a pretty good living. I do very well. But there are women out there who make more money than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not mad at them about it. I actually celebrate them. I am proud of them.
Right.
But now you got these men who couldn't compete in a man's world.
Right.
Moving into a woman's world. And now they think they are the king of kings.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It does. It. Go ahead, TW. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's just the definition of patriarchy is all.
Yeah.
I'm getting to.
Yeah, but and it's you're how can I put basically what you just said? It's you're discriminating against biological male and female.
Uh-huh.
And you're, but we talked about the female aspect. Yeah, you're discriminating against them just to appease another freaking little minority of people.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even say everybody. It's like it's crazy, bro. It's like and when they came out with this word inclusivity, I was like, I thought we were including everybody now. Like, you know, you and I grew up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
Football team. I was on the football team. Football was my passion. That's what I did. But we had a girl that was a part of our football team my freshman year. Our upper class, our senior class, our varsity team had a woman kicker. And she was actually a soccer player. She went on to play Division I soccer. She was a great soccer player. She wasn't going to go play Division I football. You know, that was in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
We had a girl that was playing. She actually played free safety, and she put her whole heart into it. She loved the game, and we all had respect for her. But the last thing that we were going to do was hit her.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches would line us up for Oklahoma drills or a clock drill. We were not going to hit this girl, and we protected this girl at all costs against other teams and said, "Hey, that's our teammate. Don't hurt her." You know, and you know, I still know her to this day. She's a straight woman. She's married. She's got kids. But when you throw a woman into a man's world, you don't want to hurt that woman. And that's what a lot of people fear this day. And I look back on it and I go, I know how these people feel. We can't hurt a woman because she's coming into our world. So that's just what we're going to do. I think I lost you. So as a man, we have to work with women in this world, because a man and a woman are what is going to keep this world going. It's not a man alone who's keeping this world going. It's not a woman alone who's keeping this world coming. You see shows on the History Channel, the men who built America. That's great. There's a lot of great history. But I'm sure you're seeing a lot of documentaries that say, you know, the women who built America, the women who built the world. That's great too. Like I said, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be here. So I thank a woman for creating the man that I am.
Yeah.
Or at least birthing the man that I am. And my dad created the man that I am. You know, work hard, protect your children, protect your woman, and stand up for what's right.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing. We're standing up for what's right. We're not standing up for how we feel.
Yep.
So, if a man is going to compete as a woman, we're going to stand against that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And, I never thought that I would say that I'm a feminist, but also in 2020, I never thought that I would be an anarchist and stand against the government's mandates telling me that I need to wear a mask and get a shot.
There you go.
So in the last 3 years, I've become a feminist and an anarchist. It's wild to me.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I never thought in my lifetime that I would ever see what's going on in the government happen. The way it's happening.
Absolutely, and it's a big show.
Yeah,
That's all it is with the government. It's just a big show. It doesn't matter who's in charge. It's always going to be a show.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, man. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Okay, anyway, so all right, what yeah, other than that, guys, thanks. We have 10 people in the Rumble chat. We have zero. Yeah, we have zero in YouTube, bro. This is the same crap that happened when I was talking about puberty blockers. I was like, what? No, but on Rumble, I got like 300. I was like 400 viewers, bro. I was like, whoa. I was like, that's crazy. But these people, they don't want the truth out there.
No,
it's clear.
You can't do that. And the people that you see in the media, they talk about the same thing, but they don't really present a solution.
Yes.
Where you got the normal everyday people like you and I, who have started our podcasts. We're small time,
right?
We don't reach millions of people on a nightly basis,
right?
But we speak more truth, and I've got a lot of respect for people like Dan Bongino and Tucker Carlson, but they're not on the level that you and I are on,
right?
They have corporate sponsors. They got people who are pulling their strings. We don't have people pulling our strings.
Nope.
So we're going to lay it all out on the table.
Right.
And a lot of people are going to call us the conspiracy theorists because they're not seeing it on their TV.
Yep.
But it's actually been proven that 97% of conspiracy theories have been accurate.
Yes, sir.
So call me a conspiracy theorist all you want to. Eventually, you're going to go, damn, you were right.
Yeah.
And it happens. And I'm cool with that, and I'm not doing what we're doing for clicks and likes and views.
Right.
And I don't even get paid to do this.
Yeah.
I just do it because I want to save my country and I want to unite the people. And I'm not going to divide people by race, gender, or religion.
Right.
That's not my thing. My job is to bring people together.
Of course. And and I totally agree 100% with you. Everybody's childhood is different, but we can all agree that it's we just need to come together, man.
Yeah.
And letting this, I'm gonna call this simp crap. It's really simp. It's a simp mentality. It's like you're poisoning the minds of our young kids.
Absolutely.
Just to stay in power. Like, come on, bro.
It begs the question, why are we as a society of 330 plus million people fighting because of 600 politicians and media personalities want to sit there and just run their mouths?
Yep, exactly.
600 politicians and media personalities are dividing the country. It's not the people.
Mm-hmm.
And if a left, I've always said that a liberal and a leftist are two separate people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the conservative and the Republican. Those are two separate people. But, you've got the conservative and actually the liberal who are actually finding common ground.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have the leftist over here making all the noise. The squeaky wheel gets all the grease.
Exactly.
We're listening to the leftists. We're not listening to liberals.
Yep.
We're not listening to moderate Democrats. We're not listening to Republicans. We're listening to all the radicals.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find a way to put a stop to that.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Hold on. Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
So, all right. So remember that clip I showed you? I'm gonna show you guys out there that you know that the click here. This is and I promise, TW. I know you got other things going on, but you know we're at 150 now, making it even 2.
Hey, I'm good with it. Let's go.
All right.
Let's roll.
All right, brother. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna present this. Oh shit. Once again, here we go. I'm like the Napoleon Napoleon. I want to say Napoleon's Dynamite brother. Like everything. I love technology. No, I like technology, but I hate it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's too much. It's too much crap for me. It's like click this, click that, whatever.
It's an overload.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right there with you.
Let's keep shit simple.
Watch all your favorite NFL teams out of market Sunday.
Press goes on to say that I actually
just super quick.
Check it out. As well, hey, even though I look like this, I allow trans women to compete with women in powerlifting. Now, this is Annie Andrews. She was the record holder in women's powerlifting in Canada. The record for a bench press that she held was 275 pounds. Now, Annie Andrews won 8 out of 9 competitions she entered in the women's category over the past 4 years.
Wow.
So now enter Avi Silverberg. He goes to the women's competition and he says, well, hey, even though I look like this, I identify as a woman. And he is allowed to compete in the women's competition. He then goes on to shatter Annie Andrews' record of 275 pounds on the bench press by bench pressing nearly 370 pounds, making him the current women's record holder by nearly 100 pounds. Now, here's the video of him going and breaking the women's bench pressing record in Canada with a lift of 370 pounds. Check it out.
Yeah, guys, that's that woman right there. She's watching her record getting beaten by this dude. That's her. Got it.
They should have made him at least hit 5 reps.
Yeah, exactly.
5 reps.
Yeah. Problem.
Yeah,
so after he
exactly.
bench press at 370, breaking the record by nearly 100 pounds, then the people got really, really, really upset at Avi. They said that he was making a mockery of the sport. And to even throw more salt in the wound, the former record holder was right there and had a front row seat to watch him do it.
That's
to
big
watch
chick.
her record go
That's
down
thick.
in flames. Now, Andreas felt that this was so wrong that they allowed a man to break her record. She actually posted a lengthy video about it, calling him a coward and a bigot because he did this with malicious intent as a biological man competing in the woman's category. You heard exactly right. Matter of fact, listen to it yourself.
Hey folks, just a super quick update. Yes, somebody did show up at the meet today with malicious intent. And you know what? It was nothing. It was just entirely ignored. People lifted. I volunteered. Everyone was happy that I was there. And it really struck me that maybe my participation isn't necessarily fair. I mean, there's science, whatever. But people welcome me because I'm actually nice to people. I show up and I try to make everyone happy. And I think that matters a hell of a lot more than people give it credit for. People want me there because I'm actually nice to people.
It's quite the singing voice.
But wait, there's more, guys. There's more. Wait, check this out.
Just a little thought. I'm all good, and the CPU will continue. And be nice to each other. Lift heavy circles.
Be nice, guys.
With the situation with that one lifter claiming to be trans just to get those medals. and setting records and all that stuff. Here's the problem. You shouldn't really be asking me because I ultimately, I mean, weird thing to say. I come from a place of privilege, which, like I said, is weird to say. You got to keep in mind, I transitioned almost 20 years ago. I got all of my papers done. I had my passport. I got surgery. I can prove without any doubt whatsoever that I have gone through every step.
Now, Andreas goes on to say that I actually care about women in sport because I am a woman in sport. Now, it's time for us.
Oh, what, dude?
She transitioned. That was a dude.
Yeah.
Get the snip.
Yeah. You can't make this up. But she's that's
the plot twist.
Yeah.
Not even Hollywood could write that.
but one thing, she was nice. That separated her from him.
Hey, nice guys finish last.
Exactly. Yeah. Blame it on Canada, bro. Damn. Yeah, man. All right. But who would have thought this commercial right here? We got 4 more minutes. Hold on. I'm gonna bump it into 2, man. Let's go.
All right.
Who would have thought that this started it all here? And let me go here. Blah blah blah. Go to here. Oh, and guys, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to. If not, then that's fine too. But look at this. Check this out. It all started with this.
Oh, gets
ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light. Won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
There you go.
It's been going on for 30 years.
Yeah. It all started.
Oh man, we kind of blew it off as kids. We're like, it's the Washington Redskins Hogettes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say Washington Redskins anymore. It's
Commanders.
Yeah, it's the Commanders. Lord have mercy. Oh man, yeah.
Bro,
the signs were there.
Yeah,
the signs were
there. I mean, even the Bundys. Remember that? Freaking Married with Children. Didn't they dress up like one day? Al and the boys all dressed up and went to a club or something like that. I think there's
I will have to look it up. I will have to look it up.
Yeah, it's funny, man. There's a segment on that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Trigger, you're welcome here anytime, brother.
Josh, I appreciate you having me, man. This was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Oh, good.
We got to do it again, definitely.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Where can people find you?
You can. I've got TikTok going on right now. It's the Walking Trigger Warning 81. You can actually find me on Twitter, Triggered You in 22. And same on Instagram, Triggered You, or the Walking Trigger Warning on Instagram. I'm on True Social, but I don't really go on there a lot. I'm on Getter. I don't really go on there a lot, just because we don't get a lot of traction. I tend to stay in the places where
yes
I can engage in conversation. So find me on Twitter, find me on TikTok, find me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And if the vote, okay, we're gonna do a poll here. If there was the 2024 election happened right now, who would you vote for? DeSantis or Trump?
I got to go with Trump because DeSantis, he's been a governor. He's been a great governor, but he's not really proven himself. Trump made a lot of mistakes,
Yes.
The only thing that I want to see him do is come out and atone for the mistakes that he made. He campaigned on draining the swamp, and then he hired the swamp. I want to see him atone for that. I want to see him atone for, pushing the vaccine. He goes out there, he celebrates, Operation Warp Speed. I brought you the vaccine. Hey, you know what? You brought us poison. I need you to atone for that. If you atone for those two mistakes and stop complaining, because the 2020 election, he wasn't the only one that was cheated. The American people were cheated.
Yep.
So if he can stop complaining about that, be that animal that he was in 2015 and 2016, I think that that Trump will annihilate anybody who steps in the ring with him, including that bumbling fool Joe Biden.
Yep. And they need to, and Trump needs to separate himself, when they bring up, because the media wants to bring up the insurrection all the time. They want to bring J6 up all the time. Well, he either needs to shy away from that, take their you know what I'm saying, take their attention away from the J6.
Absolutely.
We're talking about now. But since we're talking about J6, what about the prisoners?
Yeah, absolutely. They were robbed of due process. Their constitutional rights were thrown out the window, and they were used as political sacrifices, if you will.
Right.
And the thing that the left doesn't understand is we on the right, we're the ones that got all the guns. If there was an insurrection, they would know about it.
Oh, hell
that
yeah.
was not an insurrection. That was trespassing. Those people should all be released.
Yes, exactly.
And that's just my opinion. Of course, they didn't televise anything that was going on within court, which is kind of ridiculous. It's a huge national scandal, and you're not going to televise that. There's a lot of shady stuff going on with that.
Yeah.
Now Trump has said that if he was to take office again in 2024, he's going to pardon those people. I hope that happens on day one.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people who voted for Biden, or there's a lot of people who didn't show up and vote and go, we messed up, we're sorry, we're going to make up for this.
Yep.
So there has been a major shift. You wouldn't know it if you're watching TV.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what channel you're watching. You could be watching Fox, Newsmax, OAN, MSM, and CNN. You're not going to know it. You got to get down in the trenches with the people, with you and I.
Right.
And that's where you're going to get your news and your truth.
Yep. Exactly.
Because we know the people.
Yep. And I'm going to pull an X-Files. The truth is out there.
Absolutely.
And trust no one. There you go.
Trust nobody. Or, you follow the mantra of Reagan, trust but verify.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. There you go.
Verify.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. All right. Well, Live Your Death podcast. This is episode 4 ending. TW, take it away, man.
Thanks for stopping by.
Awesome, guys. Have a good night.
Have
Later.
A good night.